Morning, welcome back to another video. I have been on the phone to the vets yesterday, yet again, for Mr. Willow. Are you coming to say hello? Willow? He's over there in the corner. Yep, I've been on the phone to the vets again because of him, because I don't like the way he went at the last show. So the vlog before this one was a horse show vlog. That was Sunday. It's now Tuesday. And that was the first show that I have ever been to. I think we've owned Willow 10 years. So that show at the weekend was the first show that I have ever been to that I thought I wasn't gonna get round. It was a big arena, and you could be walked on the go round, you could walk, trot, canter, laps of the arena, change your rein, straight into canter again. It can be hard work when the arenas are so big anyway. But we done the go round, just back to walk again. Judge shouted, line up, any order. I could have got first place. In the first of the lineup. I was exactly there when they said line up, any order. But that was the first time I thought, no, we're holding back to try and let a couple of people go in front of us so we're not the first ones out to do our show, because I had nothing in the tank from him. All his energy had gone, and that's the first time I've ever had that feeling. And you know, I didn't know what to think of it, so I rang the vets yesterday. I rang them in the morning. We were waiting for the vet that treated him for ulcers to ring me back, so she rang me back yesterday afternoon. Trying to get some jobs done whilst I'm trying to film this as well. So I explained to her, since the ulcer treatment, although we're getting results in the show ring, in some aspects I think he's feeling so much better. Other aspects I think he's gone downhill with. And one of them is stamina, basically. Although he's feeling so much better to ride at home, absolutely, he's feeling amazing. But at shows, I feel like we've got nothing. We've got no stamina at all. Although we're now getting placed where we weren't getting placed. It's so hard to explain to the vet yesterday. But I was like, I have had him so long that I know something just doesn't feel right. So I was on the phone to her. It must have been nearly an hour. I was so grateful. I'd rung them to speak to them, and I was actually expecting them to book an appointment to come out and see him again. But I've sent her over the videos of him at the show and everything. And we've got a new plan to do with him now. But like I was saying to her, feels amazing at home. Absolutely brilliant at home. I've got no issues with the ridden work at home. It is just in the show ring environment. The show before this was the really hot show, and he felt a bit sluggish then, but I put it down to the heat. And then he hasn't been out since before that. Was the first show back since the ulcer treatment, heart show. So yeah, basically we were saying, what have we changed with Willow? We've changed so much with Willow this year. From, I put him on hay. He's always been on haylage for the 10 years we've had him. We always feed haylage because hay round here is so hard to get hold of, because all the farmers deliver to the big equestrian yards around here, so the little people don't usually get hay. It's really hard to get hold of, and when you do get hold of it, it is so expensive. So usually I feed haylage all year round. But this year we went on to hay. I also changed Willow's field. Usually he gets turned out in, well, it's hard to point on the camera, this one, but it was bare, so I decided to turn him out in this one, because usually spring grass will have horses off their rocker, basically. Some horses, of course, the spring grass makes them slow and sluggish, so I changed field, and I don't know whether it's the field, it's the grass or whatnot, but he won't roll in this field, and we all know Willow, as soon as he goes out in this one, usually straight down to roll. So we changed that. We changed his hay, changed his field, had the ulcer treatment, we changed his feed, we've changed his girth, we've changed his bit, we've changed his feet. Trying to think whether that's all of it. I think that's all of it, but that's so many changes in one go. He's looking at me now, so I'm going to grab him, turn him out in the field, and we'll see whether he will actually go down and roll like he used to every day. So I've turned him out. Where's he gone? He's here. Is he going to go down and roll? I don't know. It's the anticipation of waiting. I think he is. The other two are running round in that field, so it doesn't help. He hasn't rolled at all in the other field. Slow to go down, mate. But that's just the weirdest thing ever. Oh, look at that. Satisfying little roll. I don't want to move, I don't want him to get up from his roll. I haven't seen him roll for absolutely ages, and I didn't think anything of it until I spoke to the vets yesterday stating that we changed his field. Is that better? But yeah, so basically what she was saying to me was, we've changed so much. We don't know how long he's had these ulcers, because of course I had him scoped for ulcers when we first got him, when he was like coming, well, it wasn't straight away, so he must have been 4 or 5 when we scoped for ulcers, and they were clear all that time ago. And now he's 13, so we don't know how long he's had them, because he's never changed, other than being a bit sluggish in the show ring. He's never shown any other sign of ulcers. So we've treated the ulcers, so of course his stomach feels different anyway. And then we've put him on a different feed, which is good for the ulcers, supposed to still be really good for the competition horses and everything, but it's a pellet form. In all the years I've had him, I've only ever fed him a mix. So she thinks like the feed is different. But also with this feed he's on, he's an XL, supposed to be, it can be extremely fattening, which poor Willow can put on loads of weight just looking at food. So we were doing so well with getting the weight off of him that now it's piled all back on him straight away, to the point we've had to go back to his old girth. So we're going to change that. We're going to put him on a mix and see if that helps. I mean, he doesn't get fed much anyway, but we're going to try and change that, see if that helps anyway at all. The cat's come to say hello. Hello? Are you okay? We're also going to go back to the original bit that I used to use on him, because at the very hot show he was fussy in the mouth. We'd put a new bit on him, normal pelham, short shanks, but we'd put a tongue layer on it, Both cats are trying to get on the post. Don't knock her off. No, that wasn't very nice. Yeah, we'd put a tongue layer on this bit and been riding him at home perfectly fine. But when I went to that show, he was like fussy in the mouth. Wasn't right with the contact. Got him out the ring and Steve had noticed he's pushed the tongue layer around in his mouth and it wasn't sitting right. So we're just going to keep to the original long shank bit now until I can get one made that was exactly the same with the short shanks, because he just seems extremely fussy in the contact. Of course, now he's put the weight back on, we're going to go back to his original girth, which was an anatomical shaped gel girth, whereas the smaller one that I bought him when he lost the weight was just a normal girth, because I couldn't get an anatomical one in the size we needed. So I will order that in a smaller size and an anatomical one. So when we do lose the weight, we can go to the same girth, just in a smaller size. The vet thinks he's extremely sensitive horse to all changes. So although we're doing things that should benefit Willow, she says that so much has changed, although all for the better, so much has changed in one go that she thinks Willow's literally just panicking with everything feeling different. So we're going to take some bits back to what it was, the not so important like things, like his girth put back to normal, the bit we'll change them once he feels more comfortable body wise. The feed, she says try a mix. Of course we don't feed him much anyway because we want to get the weight off of him. By getting the weight off of him, what we're going to do is I'm going to lunge him in the morning. I've done this before, so it's not completely new to him. Lunge him of a morning just at walk for like 10 minutes, get him walking and moving of a morning every single morning, like he would if he was on the competition yard on a walker, something like that, to get him moving in the morning and then like ride him of an evening. She did, so we can do all that, that's perfectly fine. She also said his feet, having changed his shape, will probably be the biggest cause of his lack of stamina at the moment, because she explained it like where my old farrier had been trimming him and left too much toe on, it's like us going for a run in platform shoes and then suddenly we bought new running shoes. We will run differently, different muscles will ache and everything. So she thinks that is what's happening with Willow. Now he's got the correct foot shape, it's using different muscles than he was before, so he's a little bit sore. So she thinks that's what the stamina is in the show ring. So I said, like, why are we feeling so good at home though and not in the show ring? And she basically again said, I ride him on his own at home. This is his safe space. He's comfortable here. And since the treatment, they take the date from, it's a bit chilly now. They take the date from the last injection. So his last injection was only 6 weeks ago. And she said, if we ride, say on average twice a week, because like the first week or two we didn't ride much. Some weeks have been hot, so we ride less. Some weeks I ride more. She said, just take it on average of 2 rides a week, not including lunging, pole work, anything like that. 2 ridden sessions a week. Over 6 weeks, that's 12 times I've rode him at home, including Heart Show, that show straight after, which was straight after the injections, like days after. The hot show and this show, I've only taken him to 4 shows. So she said, he's feeling different, he's feeling vulnerable. When he's going around the show ring, you're all cantering around together. He's got horses coming up his bum. He's, feeling vulnerable in the show ring. So she said that, 12 rides at home and he's feeling amazing. Until I get to 12 shows and we haven't seen much change, she says, don't panic yet. So I said to her, should we take time out then? Give him the rest of the year off, get him feeling better at home, then take him out to shows next year. And she said no, because we will basically be starting the show journey then. So basically keep him going to shows now so we can get over this not feeling right in the show ring. Make some changes back so some things are brought back to normality for him, but keep going with the shows. So that's what we're going to do. It's so hard, isn't it? You get the vets out, you want him to do best by your horse, and in my opinion, it makes him feel worse. It's hard, it is, but I do understand everything that she's actually been saying. So he's out this morning. I will, once I've mucked out, I'll quickly bring him in, lunge him for his 10-minute walk, because he doesn't move out in the field either, because he is turned out on his own. He just stands, he doesn't move. So that's what she wants. She wants us to get him moving more of a morning, really crack on with getting that weight down, because it has piled on so quickly again, which will never be good anyway. So I'm going to muck out, pull him in, do his 10-minute lunge where he can then go back out again for the afternoon, and then I'll bring him in this evening and ride him again and see how he's feeling. It is now a few days later. It's currently Friday. I think I filmed the last lot of this vlog on, I'm sure it was Monday, the day after the show. So I was really disheartened when I filmed that first lot, because Willow felt like absolute pants, and I was so worried about what on earth was going wrong. I've only documented our journey for the last 3 years, and it's not been the best 3 years. I know Willow can go a hell of a lot better than he is currently. This is not the first time we've done Royal International qualifiers or Horse of the Year Show qualifiers. We started this journey doing this back before he'd done his leg in 2018. And back then, so it must have been 2017, we went to the New Forest County Show, which is a Horse of the Year Show qualifier, where there must have been about 30 competitors in our class. Back before COVID, these classes that we're doing now were twice the size. So back then, at the New Forest show, we came 10th out of 30, 10th. But out of that quality of horses, he was absolutely on fire. He was doing great. Of course, we'd done some Royal International qualifiers then. He'd done his leg in 2018. I know 2019 was the year that we had seconds in all the Royal International qualifiers that we'd done, basically. So I know Willow can work correctly, can use his back end correctly, can be exactly what the judges are looking for in bigger classes than we're doing now, which is so hard that the classes have actually got smaller and he's not going right. So it was very disheartening to go to the show at the weekend and him to feel as flat as he was. As I say, it's now Friday. I spoke to the vets Monday. I'm sure it was Monday. So we've made changes already and we're like 5 days on and he's feeling so much better already. So Willow has always been a very backwards horse. Even back when he was at his best, if you feed him the likes of competition mix, oats, turbo flakes, anything that should send a horse loopy, it never does with him. It sort of makes him calmer. But one year I put him on calm and condition and it absolutely blew his brains. He was verging on the point of dangerous and it was winter, so I took him off of it. So stuff that should calm him down winds him up. Stuff that should wind him up calms him down. So when the vet's done his ulcer injections, they told me to put him on Ease and Excel. So it should still give him the life for the show ring, energy, but be good for the ulcers. All it's done is make him fat. He's put on so much weight so quickly. We were doing so well before the ulcer treatment to get the weight off. And he's just piled it on like overnight. So yeah, this Ease and Excel, all it's done is made him fat and lethargic. So since I spoke to the vet Monday, I've been weaning him off of the Ease and Excel and putting him on some mix that they told me to put him on. And the change in him already has been such an improvement. So we've also changed his riding schedule to give him more work to do to get this weight off quickly. So now he's being lunged Monday to Friday mornings, 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes of the morning to really get him working. More exercise, less weight basically. Just at walk to get him moving. So we do that Monday to Friday mornings, and then he gets Monday and Tuesday off of ridden work, but then Wednesday through to Sunday he does ridden work, pole work, lunge work, whatever. So he gets 2 days off together, because when the day you bring him back from having a day off, he's always lazier anyway. So that's what we've been doing this week, and it seems to be working so much better. Again, his feet have been changed. They're due to be trimmed again next week. So we knew that it may take time for him to get used to the new shape of foot, the new movement anyway. But I am happy with the improvements he's made within this last week anyway. So I'm still not going to give up hope that he can get me to where I want him to get me. The likes of Royal International. Hoys is harder. Horse of the Year show is a very hard class to do. You know, whether I can ever qualify for that on any of these horses is going to be extremely hard. Anyway, because you have the likes of the producers and the horses that have been produced in those classes. A producer is someone that does this as a job. I could send him away to a producer's yard and they will ride him and make him into something that can win those classes. And then a horse that is produced, they could take him to shows, win the class, and then I can get on and take the ride to go to a Horse of the Year show. Or that a horse that is produced is one that's been to the producer's yard, learn everything, then I get on and I just easily win the class. I could do that, but then I don't feel that I've done it. Someone else has done all the hard work and I just get on and win the class and win the ticket. So yeah, Horse of the Year show, doing it all by myself as an amateur home produced horse rider is going to be extremely hard. But I'm still determined to give it a try. I don't care if, of course, I want to qualify, but if I don't qualify, it doesn't matter. I'd rather try and fail than not try at all. So yeah, I'm still not going to give up hope with him yet. We are still in the background trying to get Gambler, because the judges, I'm afraid, love short little compact things like Gambler. He is on the taller side, but he feels fabulous at home at the moment. I know Willow can go a hell of a lot better than he has done. We qualified for the likes of Your Horse Live easily. Both times we've done it, it's qualified first time we've gone out. As I say, we've been second in so many Royal International qualifiers in the years before. He's older, but he's more experienced and I'm more experienced, to be fair. And the amount of people in the qualifiers have actually gone down. So we're just going to keep trying, keep going. But yeah, it's I started this video very disheartened about it all and worried actually on what else was wrong. Although when they done the ulcer treatment, we've had blood work done and we've had a lameness workup done. You know, something wasn't right. And now I think we are going down the route of feed was not right and was not giving him the energy he needed to perform at the level we want him to. He's not out at a show, not this weekend. All shows this weekend have been cancelled again. Gambler was meant to be going out somewhere to do some fun stuff, but that's been cancelled because we're in yet another heat wave. So I think you're out the following weekend. I'm pretty sure it is him out the following weekend. So we've got more time again to see whether we can get him fitter, slimmer, and see how he feels. Keep going with this. The other problem we have had this year is the heat. All winter we didn't get much done because it was so wet, and now all summer we're on an amber heat wave again this week. It's getting up to like 34. So, and it's going to be a long, like over a week's spell of hot weather. So that doesn't help anyway. None of us want to do anything in the heat. So I don't blame him for not wanting to perform in the heat anyway. So it's been a very hard year. It really has. It's all trial and error. Keep going with the trial and error. But I do think this feed is made a lot of difference. We do now need to go to a show to see whether we see those results in the show ring again. But I've never had him before where we go round the ring and I'm struggling to get round the go round. You know, I've never had it like that before. He's always given me the feeling that we can keep going round this go round. You know, so it was not right at all this past weekend. Keep pushing and we'll see where this year takes us. The vets have said, don't worry, for this year he's gonna feel so much different within himself anyway, and he'll feel more comfortable at home. That's why we were seeing improvements at home anyway, even being on the Ease and Excel feed. We were seeing good results at home because they said same as like dressage and show jumping, whatever you're training at home, when you go to a show you technically go down a level to know that the horse is confident at that level. So they've always said whatever I was feeling at home I would feel less of that at a show anyway, but there was such a remarkable difference between the two. So we're going to see if we can bridge that gap a little bit and get you feeling better, get you going better. Eh? Yeah. If you like what you see and want to follow along with our journey, then don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon for the next one. Bye.